Welcome, everyone. Ready to dive into the future. We're talking events and experiences, but not as we know them. This is about DARQ technologies.
DARQ.
Yeah, distributed ledger systems, AI, extended reality, quantum computing, the whole shebang. And to help us wrap our heads around it all, we've got the insights of Dr. Matt Frew. He's a senior lecturer focusing on enterprise and transformational technology over at the University of West of Scotland.
Oh yeah, I've seen his work. He really gets you thinking, doesn't he? It's not just about the tech itself, but like what it means for us, big picture stuff.
Exactly. He's pushing us past the hype, all the headlines about the metaverse and whatnot. Dr. Frew is looking at how these technologies, especially if they all start working together, could lead to something way more radical than just fancy gadgets or virtual worlds.
Like a whole new era, right? Almost intimidating.
A bit, yeah. But exciting, too. And it seems like events, the things that bring people together, those are right at the forefront of this whole transformation.
Totally. Dr. Frew makes this point that events and technology have always been intertwined, kind of reflecting the cutting edge of their time.
Right, like think about the Great Exhibition back in 1851. Total spectacle, all powered by the Industrial Revolution. Or even the World Cup in 2014, how social media made it this globally connected event.
Exactly. So now we're moving past the Zoom culture phase, which, let's be honest, was kind of clunky.
We did what we had to. But where are we heading now?
Well, Dr. Frew argues that we're shifting into this era where DARQ isn't just shaping events, it's changing our relationship with reality itself.
Whoa, okay, hold on. That's a big statement.
It is. He sees it as part of this transhuman idea, like integrating tech with our very being so we can push past our limits, enhance ourselves.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued, but also a little lost. Can we break down the DARQ part? Like, what do these technologies actually bring to the table for someone like me going to a concert or a museum? What's that experience going to be like?
Well, imagine this. You walk into a concert, and AI facial recognition instantly personalizes everything.
Like how so?
It could suggest the best seats based on your preferences. Or create a real-time playlist just for you, matching your mood.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Or picture visiting a historical site and using AR to see what it looked like centuries ago. The past, right there in front of you.
So it's not just a high-tech version of what we have, it's a whole new experience.
Exactly. Dr. Frew says it's not just a fourth industrial revolution, it's a paradigm shift, touching everything. Work, learning, how we connect, experience the world, everything.
Okay, big stuff. Now, we got to talk metaverse. It's everywhere, but it feels like a lot of hype and confusion. What's the reality beyond the headlines?
You're right, but think of it like this. It's the internet evolving. From a 2D web of info to a 3D network of virtual worlds, all interconnected. We see early glimpses of it already. Concerts in Fortnite or Roblox, that ABBA Voyage thing with their digital avatars performing.
Right, those are like baby steps into this new frontier.
Yeah. But Dr. Frew hints at something bigger, an accelerated metaverse.
What does he mean by that?
He sees these virtual worlds becoming integrated with our physical reality, blurring the lines, And that's where DARQ dreamscapes come in. It's his term for these hyper-realistic experiences we'll be able to access as the tech gets better.
So not just putting on a VR headset, but these dreamscapes being woven into our daily lives.
Exactly. Like, picture a conference where some people are physically there, others join remotely through lifelike avatars, all interacting seamlessly, or a concert with digital performers who respond to the audience in real time.
Okay, now that's amazing, but also a little unsettling. Where does real end and virtual begin?
That's the question, isn't it? Dr. Frew argues it's not about escaping reality, but expanding it. A hybrid world where digital and physical enrich each other in ways we can't even imagine yet.
So we've got DARQ, the evolving metaverse, these dreamscapes. But what about us? What does it mean to be human when the real and virtual are so blurred?
That's where it gets really interesting. Dr. Frew suggests that with AI, maybe even artificial general intelligence down the line, we're seeing the rise of the synthetic society.
The synthetic society.
Yeah, where the lines between physical and digital, real and synthetic, are super blurry. Not just about cool experiences or avatars, but a fundamental shift in what we consider real, authentic, even the self.
This is definitely mind-bending stuff, and I bet our listeners are ready to go deeper.
Oh, yeah.
Let's explore the implications of this synthetic society and how it might reshape our lives, relationships, and even what it means to be human.
This synthetic society Dr. Frew talks about, it's not some far-off thing, It's happening now, right around us, as these DARQ technologies keep developing and merging.
Okay, I get that, but what does it actually look like? How do we go from A few avatars at a concert to, like, a whole new society.
Well, look at companies like Soul Machines or Ziva Dynamics. They're already making these super realistic digital humans, ones that can interact with us, and it's getting harder to tell them apart from real people. Dr. Frew uses Digital Jack Nicklaus as an example, that synthetic version of the golfer.
Oh yeah, I read about that. It's wild, isn't it? To think we could interact with a digital version of someone even after they're gone.
It is. And Dr. Frew suggests that as this tech gets even better, we'll start seeing synthetic selves, like digital copies of ourselves that can learn and adapt, even act on our behalf in those virtual spaces. Imagine your digital twin going to meetings, running your social media, or even exploring those DARQ dreamscapes while you're doing other things.
So it's not about replacing human interaction, but adding to it, like a digital layer where we can be in two places at once.
Exactly. But you raise a good point, though. Could it make us detached from the physical world? From real connection?
Yeah, it's a worry.
It's a valid concern, and Dr. Frew acknowledges that. He says the key is balance, using these tools to improve our lives, not becoming dependent on them. Think of the printing press. It changed how we get information, but we still talk face to face. The synthetic society doesn't have to replace real-world interaction. It can just give us new ways to connect, to collaborate.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But these synthetic selves, they bring up big questions about, like, identity and what's real. If we have digital versions of ourselves running around, how do we even know what's authentic anymore? And what happens to our sense of self when the line between physical and digital gets so blurry?
You're hitting on something really important that Dr. Frew keeps bringing up. He says that DARQ, especially AI, is challenging the very idea of what's real and authentic.
Right, like with those deep fakes. It's already easy to make fake videos and audio that look and sound totally real.
And it's only going to get more advanced, right? As AI gets stronger, telling the real from the fake is going to be tougher and tougher.
So we can't even trust our eyes and ears anymore.
Exactly. And Dr. Frew says this means we need to rethink how we see truth and evidence. We can't just rely on our senses or gut feeling. We need new ways to evaluate information, to figure out what's authentic in a world where that line keeps shifting.
So it's not just about the technology, but how we adapt to it. Developing, like, digital critical thinking skills, I guess.
Exactly. And Dr. Frew says that's where events come in. You know, those gatherings, experiences that have always shaped culture and society? He says they become even more important in the synthetic society.
Interesting. How so?
Well, think about it. Events bring people together, share ideas, experience new things, create shared stories. And in this world where real and synthetic are blurring, events are a place to explore those boundaries, experiment with new ways of interacting, and really grapple with what all this means ethically and philosophically.
So, like a conference with digital human speakers. Or a museum where historical figures are brought to life with AI, and you can have a conversation with them, just like they're really there.
That's the potential Dr. Frew sees. Events becoming these hybrid spaces where we can interact with our synthetic selves, meet digital recreations of anyone, and really dive into those DARQ dreamscapes.
It's pretty radical, but also super exciting. Who knows what kind of experiences we'll have as this tech keeps evolving.
And that's just the beginning. Dr. Frew thinks it's a much bigger shift towards a truly synthetic society where physical and digital, real and virtual become so fluid they basically lose all meaning.
It's a lot to take in, and I bet our listeners are feeling it too. Maybe we should take a moment to digest all this. Then we can come back and explore some of the bigger implications of this synthetic society. The challenges, the opportunities, how it might change how we live, learn, and connect in a world where reality itself is being redefined. Okay, we're back and ready to really unpack this idea of the synthetic society. It's a lot to process this future, where the real and virtual are so intertwined thanks to DARQ, especially AI.
It is. Dr. Frew really wants us to think about what this all means for who we are, how we see the world, even how our societies work. It's not just tech changing, it's a cultural and philosophical shift too.
And he keeps using this term, DARQ dreamscapes, for the kinds of experiences we might have in this synthetic society. It's got this like exciting but also kind of scary vibe.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Those dreamscapes capture both the wonder and the potential, well, the unease of all this. On the one hand, imagine visiting ancient Rome, experiencing the rainforest, even a concert on the moon, all from your living room, feeling like you're truly there.
That does sound pretty amazing. But you said unease. What are some of the downsides, the challenges we might face if these dreamscapes become commonplace?
Well, think about truth. Authenticity. If we can create these hyper-realistic experiences, how do we know what's real anymore? Dr. Fu points out that we've always relied on recordings, video, audio as proof of something happening. But now, with deepfakes and AI-generated content, that's all being undermined.
And as that tech gets better, it's only going to get harder. It's like seeing isn't believing anymore.
Exactly. So what does that mean for trust? Accountability. Evidence. In a world where reality can be faked, Dr. Free doesn't give easy answers. He just urges us to be more critical, question what we see, and not just accept things at face value.
So we need, like, digital detective skills for this synthetic society. But beyond the truth issue, what other challenges does Dr. Fu see coming up?
He worries about inequality getting worse. You know, if not everyone can access these DARQ dreamscapes, all the opportunities they offer, it could make existing divides even deeper. A digital divide on steroids, basically.
Well, we got to make sure this benefits everyone, not just a select few. But amidst all the challenges, are there also opportunities that Dr. Fu sees in this synthetic society?
Oh, absolutely. He believes these technologies can also connect people across huge distances, different cultures, democratize access to education, experiences, foster new kinds of creativity, collaborations. Imagine students all over the world learning together in a shared virtual space, or artists creating projects that go beyond physical limits.
It's like a whole new era for how we interact, how we express ourselves. But as with any powerful tool, it all comes down to how we use it.
Exactly. Dr. Fu reminds us tech isn't neutral. It reflects the values, the goals of who creates it and uses it. And he says we need to approach all this with, well, a sense of wonder, yeah, but also a healthy dose of skepticism. Talk about the implications, really think it through, and help shape the kind of future we want.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into DARQ dreamscapes and the synthetic self, what should our listeners really take away from all this?
The biggest thing, I think, is that this isn't just about technology, it's about us. How we adapt, how we evolve, how we define ourselves when reality itself is changing. Dr. Fu's work pushes us to face these questions head on, to think critically, and to actively participate in building this synthetic society.
He's basically saying, be informed, be discerning, and be brave as we navigate this unknown territory. The future is being written right now, and our choices, our actions, our conversations all play a part in what that future looks like.
So to our listeners, keep exploring these ideas. Dive deeper into DARQ, what it all means, and join the conversation about how we use this power to create a future that's good for everyone.
That's it for our deep dive into the future of events and experiences in the age of DARQ. We hope you found it insightful, thought-provoking, and maybe even a little mind-bending. Keep those questions coming, stay curious, and stay engaged, because the future is out there, waiting to be shaped.